In this video, I'll be going over the Module 5 assignment. I'm gonna try my best to explain how to figure out texture coordinates for your pyramid using the tutorial code for the cube. So hopefully if I explain this well enough, you should be able to figure out for your pyramid how to texture it off this. So what I've done is I have opened the tutorial 5.3 from the CS330 tutorials, and I've also commented in the uCreateMesh function what each section of vertices do. So example, like this first section is the back face of the cube, the next is the front face of the cube, one after that, third one is the left face of the cube, so on and so forth. And I've also marked, I've lettered each the vertex point, right? So as you see in this first section here is that A is used twice, the first and sixth line, and then the third and fourth line is the point C. Throughout all these sections for each face, obviously the coordinates are the same. The texture coordinates change because it all depends on how you're looking at it in respect to the Z position. Right. So for example, I'm going to let's look at this here. So over here, if I can move that off a little bit. So each section is drawing two of the triangles, right, to make the plane or face of the cube, right? So if you look down here, you can see that look back at the code that it goes A, B, C, C, D, A. So that's the two triangles. So A, B, C right here makes the first triangle, and then C, D, A makes the next triangle for the back. So that would be, if we're looking at it dead on here, that's what's going on. I'm actually gonna mark off these points. I have there's some reason there's an extra point on, there was an extra point on here. Okay, so everything is in respect to the Z position. So if this is us looking at the cube directly in the front. So we got the negative X, positive Y, negative Y. So how they figured out the texture coordinates is, imagine, and I gotta move, no, don't do that. Move that over. So all texture coordinates are going to be within a certain range on like a coordinate system from 0, 0 to 1, 1, right? So any side of your shape will be stretched to fit inside this box. So right now we're working on a cube. So basically the whole face of the cube would be stretched over this section of a coordinate system, and then you map your positions from there. So for example, our A texture coordinate would be 0, 0, which it is in the code. I mean, all this beginning stuff is gonna match. So B would be 1, 0, which it is over here, 1 on the X, 0 on the Y. C is 1, 1, which again, it is over here. And then D is well, I could look at either one. So it's 0 on the X, 1 on the Y. So from there, if you wanted to do like a triangle, for example, to figure it out inside this, is your triangle side would be contained, would be, I think OpenGL, Learn OpenGL has a similar type, not exactly like this, but they show you how to map it out. So if you, for your pyramid side, it'd be stretched to fit inside this box. So the point would be to the top of the line, and then to the bottom left and right corners. So two of your points would be the same. So if you would only have 3 vertices instead of 6, because you only need to draw one triangle aside, right? So your A texture coordinate would be the same, right? 0, 0. And then your B coordinate would be 0, 0. When you're looking at it directly, remember we're looking at it directly where Z is facing us, in accordance to this little thing we'll look back to. But then your E, or your C, for example, because ignore the points, if this was actually C, would be 0, 5, 0.5 on the X, and then 1 on the Y. So we'll undo that. and go back. So all these texture coordinates have to be in respect to where Z is facing. So let's look at, I'm going to run this code real quick. So right now, what we have going on is that we have our tutorial 5.3 open. And we go around. The right side has the face rotated on a 90, and the left side has it rotated on a, I'd say, negative 90. Right? Yeah. So they're both rotated. We're going to fix that off based off this, right? So I'm going to close that. So how we do that is, so we're looking at this. We're looking at our thing here. Oh, actually, one more thing. I'm going to only put in the points that I need to worry about. So let's work on the left face. So that's H, D, A, and E, right? Yeah, left face. So going back is that I am looking at this directly on is the same as when we started the program to look at it. So you want to visualize, you want to rotate down over here to look at the left side. Now the issue is, as I said, it has to be in relation to Z. When we're looking at it, when we run it, Z isn't pointing up like it is right now. It's actually pointing to the right. It would be pointing to the right in our stuff. I actually need to readjust this here. So we got HD. Rotate. I have an image ready to go. So we want to rotate it to the right. If I can do that in this, I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to bring this down because I've already, as you can see, I've taken the screenshot of it and I've rotated it to be the same orientation as it would be in our program. So from here, we see that Z is facing to the right. How it would be if we were looking in the program, running it. And then from here, we imagine that same coordinate system, and we know that the bottom left is going to be 0, 0. So we go, wait, this isn't, I'm going to do a work left face, A, B, F, E. Oh, I actually have the wrong things picked. But that's no matter. How did I do that? No, wait a minute. What am I doing in my life? I am right. I'm just being silly. Okay, good thing I commented the code. So we know A is going to be 0, 0, which it is not. It is 0, 1. So we're going to fix that. So we know that's 0. That's always going to, the bottom left of this is going to be 0, 0. Top right's going to be 1, 1. So now we're going to look at our H position here. And we see that it's actually 1, 0, which is incorrect. So we want to change that to 1, 1 on both inside the section for our left face. And then E is going to be 1 on the X, 0 on the Y, which it is not. So 1 on the X, 0 on the Y. And then I did not do D. I mean, D should be 0 on the X, 1 on the Y. So if I've done this correctly now, I should be able to run it, and the left side would be correctly oriented. If I did it correctly. Yes, I did. Okay, perfect. So now we have that matching. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and I'm going to actually face it upside down. I'm going to have the upside down smiley face. And that requires, which ones do we need here? So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to reposition here. Let's set this back on the right system that we're looking that X is negative there. So the right face is G, C, B, and GCBF, right? Okay. GCBF, perfect. Okay, so now we're looking directly at the cube again. This is the right face, so we're going to rotate that back down to look. And again, we see that, so if we wanted this to be right side up, we'd want the Z position to be the left, because in the program, if we came around to the right side and looked at it directly on, Z is pointing to the left axis, right? So what we want to do to flip it upside down is have Z facing to the right, and then that will flip the image. And I have that right here to look at. I already screenshotted that. So based off this, we're going to go to our right face now and look at our positions. We know the bottom left now, we have the correct orientation. The bottom left is going to be 0, 0. So C should be 0, 0, and it's currently 1, 1. So 0, 0, and then going, oh, yeah, okay. Then our G is going to be 1 on the X, 0 on the Y. Oh, which is correct. 1 on the X, 0 on the Y. So we're good there. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 1 on the X, 0 on the Y. And then our B position is going to be 0 on the X, 1 on the Y, which is correct. And then F is going to be 1, 1. So that's where we go. 0, 0, 1, 0. I'm just going to double check this. 1, 0. And then 1, 1 for the F. B is 0, 1. So if we run that, it should produce an upside down smiley face. So there we go. So that's how you can visualize your coordinate points. And hopefully you find that helpful. If there's anything I missed or I could add, let me know and I could redo a video.